Good afternoon and welcome to the November 2023 DIBBLE webinar, where we have our some really great guests from the organization Be Busy down in Houston, Ralph Nickerson, Guadalupe Hernandez, and Erica Ortega. So they will come on in a little bit. We're really pleased to have them and you here with us. Next slide. So if you can't hear me, then you aren't hearing me now. But you can read this. So if you can't hear us during the presentation, it's probably, sadly to say, your computer system. So please just log on, log back on, log off, log on, or call in. You can also write in the questions or the chat box. You can write and let us know if you can't hear something. That's a good way. No, I guess it's questions, sorry, questions. Right in the questions box. So go to your control panel and locate your hand on the GoToWebinar control panel and tell me how many of you this is your very first DIBBLE webinar. So raise your hand if it's your first DIBBLE webinar. Okay, great, wow. I really appreciate having new people here. Of course, we adore those of you who come and come again, and so that's great. And we're super happy to have new people join us. So welcome, especially to you. Looks like about 10% are new. Finally, on your control panel is a handout, a case study we've done about Be Busy. We are going to be polishing it up a little bit more, but it'll give you the outline of their programming and what they do, and it's a good thing to download. So take a look at that. All right, you can put your hands down now. Thank you so much. So Charlie and Helen Dibble. So the reason we have this name is because the Dibbles started the Dibble Institute. Charlie was a friend of many young people when he retired, and what he noticed as he worked with young people is they were very they often were not very hopeful about their futures, especially around long-term romantic relationships. They just didn't have confidence. And secondly, he saw in their lives that when their parents' relationship foundered, how it impacted his young friends. So he was a can-do, fix-it kind of guy. He called up leading researchers of the day and found out what they were They found out what they were learning, and this would have been in the late 80s, about what it takes to have long-lasting, happy, successful marriages and relationships. And they could tell him all about that. But when he asked them, what are you doing for young people to tell young people that, or help young people with those challenges, they would just shrug their shoulders, because it's hard, as you know, who work with young people. That part's difficult. So that's the origin story of the Dibble Institute. And now, next slide, please. The Dibble Institute's programs are in all 50 states. Many of our territories. We're a national independent nonprofit organization, and what we do is translate research, the same thing that Charlie was looking for, into teaching tools that then others use, like for instance, today, Be Busy uses in their work. So last year, when we counted up our fiscal year, which ended just in September, which is collectively all of us, but mostly you, reached over 126,000 young people with the Dibble program last year. That's astonishing. I mean, if you do the math and think of how many kids that is a day, and that's a very conservative estimate, it's really awesome. And so we really, really appreciate all of you who helped make this happen. Next slide. So the niche that the Dibble Institute hangs out in, and really our feet are firmly planted in this area, is we help young people, we give them the skills and knowledge in order to learn how to navigate their interpersonal relationships. While we do include some sex ed, really, our feet are firmly planted in the healthy relationships field. So you'll find our programs being used not only in like teen pregnancy prevention, but also violence prevention and substance abuse avoidance and child abuse prevention. So there's a lot of things you can do with relationship education that improve young people's lives. Next slide, please. Our 3 values. we're big fans of research. We're big fans of science. And so that means that our programs, you can rely on the fact that what we say in them has data to back it up. And it also means that as the data changes or the information changes, we changed our thinking about that. So for instance, 10 years ago, everyone thought, and data showed that cohabitation under all circumstances was bad for relationships. And then as time progressed, we found that it was a little more nuanced than that. That if you had a goal, a mutual goal for the future and a vision for the future with your beloved and you were living together, you had much different outcomes than if you just happened to, bring your 90s and your toothbrush over unexpectedly, and you just slid into a relationship. So that's the kind of thing that we follow the science in our materials, which is, I think, really reassuring. Secondly, we believe in safe, stable, and nurturing families. There's a lot of benefits to married couples and married families, whatever flavor you are. But we also know that there's many exemplary single parents, co-parents, et cetera, et cetera. And so our goal is to give people the skills that they can create safe, stable, and nurturing families, regardless of the legal form of their family. And lastly, we believe relationship education is for everyone. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter your ethnicity or your race or where you live in this country. I mean, all of us, meaning even me, can get better at our relationships. So we write our materials for everyone. That means, because when you're with young people, you don't know who's in the room. So our programs are very inclusive. We've made them inclusive in language, in scenarios, in visuals, so people see themselves in so many ways. So we're really, really thrilled with that. And that's, I think, evidence as to how our programs are used so widely around the country. So today, we're going to talk with, or we are going to talk, they're going to talk, we're all going to listen to Be Busy. They use Love Notes, our program Love Notes, with a competitive PrEP grant that they got out of the state of Texas. And some of you might know the PrEP funding. It's funding that goes directly to the states. If you don't know about that funding and you're in a state and you want to use Love Notes, you should we'll have our contact information at the end, because it's a program that there's certain requirements in PrEP and it meets all of those requirements. And mostly, if you don't use Love Notes, you have to use multiple programs. It can get pretty complicated. So we're really thrilled we have this example of when Be Busy, how smart they are and how they're using this. So there's 3 people on this panel. They will not be on camera today, so don't take it personally. It's a technical glitch. But we have Edgar Ortega, who's working in with Be Busy as in management and bookkeeping, but it sounds like she really knows her stuff and is really in charge of this grant. Guadalupe Hernandez is the community health educator, and she shares a lot of characteristics with the young people she serves. So she's a really effective educator. And then Ralph Nickerson, and what's unique about this program is how they bring media into the program, which is an add-on and a very creative and interesting add-on that we all want to learn about, who comes to us from the TV world and media world. So they're super smart to have him on the team for sure. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to our friends at Be Busy. Oh, sorry, one last thing. If you have questions during the presentation, just put them in the question box. Please don't use the chat box, and we'll be answering them at the end of the program. Thank you so much, and Be Busy, you got it.
Hello, everybody. Good afternoon. My name is Guadalupe Hernandez, and I am one of the facilitators here at Be Busy, and then I have Erica here with me. I'm excited to be here. Thank you all for coming. So Be Busy is a learning academy, is a nonprofit agency providing education and prevention services in the greater Houston area for over 20 years. Our mission is to build a strong health healthy community by enhancing the quality of life for individuals and families. And our vision is a place where essential high-quality programs and services, such as Love Notes. We are so happy to share our experience with this curriculum. Myself and a group of team facilitators, we go out to high schools, we share the different programs we offer, and Love Notes is one of them. When we first started, we did have a little bit of a challenge, trying to get that curriculum accepted into the districts. It's been a little over 2 years of hard work, and it has paid off. We are growing every semester. We are increasing the number of schools that they are requesting for us to come out. So we're very happy to share what we're doing that has worked for us and hope that it works for you as well. Erica, did you need to add anything?
Yes. So today we're going to be focusing on 3 points that the curriculum is very successful, but we're going to be focusing on 3 things that we do before implementing the curriculum, and that is recruitment. We're going to focus on planning and how we do it, how we secure the schools in a planning meeting, and then how we retain the students on student retention. The last part of our presentation is going to show you how we utilize the youth development adaptation to connect with the Love Notes curriculum.
Very good. So with recruitment, building the relationship. To begin initially, we created a presentation outline. We described the curriculum highlights, the topics, and a short version of reasons why students should be receiving this information in their schools. We reached out to the school counselors, as many times they are the ones in charge of bringing the programs into the schools. So we requested a meeting. We like to meet in person. At the beginning, we were constantly meeting in person at the schools just to introduce ourselves and create a relationship. And luckily, at one of those meetings, we met with a counselor who was very impressed with the curriculum and its content. So she arranged for us to come and do a trial run. When we did finish that full curriculum, the full 13 lessons, they were so impressed with the students' response that she contacted higher management. And soon after, we were approved to present within the full district. So the curriculum, I think, speaks for itself, but it's also the relationship that you build with the people that are in charge of bringing these programs in, letting them understand exactly, what is it that we offer, how we present it, creating that relationship. And I think Erica has a mention of a specific Miss Mendoza, which is the one that helped us amazingly with this.
So yeah, Be Busy's been around for over 20 years, and we partner up with different districts. But for this specific curriculum, it's one that we have used 2 grants in a row. So we've been using the curriculum for this current grant, which we're on our last year. We're on our 3rd year. But before this grant, we received another grant that was also 3 years, and that's when we started facilitating Love Notes to this district. We used to knock on doors and give press kits out, meet people, shake hands. Little did we know, we walked into this school, we pitched the program. Miss Mendoza, which till this day is a great supporter of Be Busy and the use of Love Notes in the district, opened the doors, and like Guadalupe was saying, this opened the doors to the entire district. To now, the Love Notes curriculum can be facilitated in any of their schools. Back then, it was us outreaching. Today, the people, the same teachers, the same counselors, even the head counselor does the outreach for us. So now, before the school year starts, our schedules are full because word of mouth is powerful, and they share their experiences with the other counselors, before you know it, we have a bunch of
please refrain from printing
a bunch of emails coming in before the beginning of the school year. So Miss Mendoza, like Guadalupe was saying, she moved to a different district last year. And I mean, it's so good to build those relationships. She called us and she wanted us to bring the programs to her district. So a whole new district, a whole new school. And I mean, she never forgot us, and it's word of mouth. So the relationship is so important.
Next slide, please. So the partnership meetings, those are very important because that's what is going to connect us directly with the school, with the specific contact person in each school. When they contact us, we reach out and we schedule a Zoom meeting. The whole team connects into the Zoom meeting, all the facilitators, we introduce ourselves, we keep our cameras on at the time of the meeting, making sure that we build that trusting relationship. And we talk over about the program, the curriculum, answer any questions they might have. And the main reason why we create these partnership meetings is to confirm the dates. So we begin talking about what dates are available for them, for us, if it aligns, and we decide to separate those dates and kind of halfway lock them in until they confirm fully. But we do try to make sure that that is scheduled, it's in the calendar, so that we're able to solidify that meeting and be productive. And some of the questions that we ask are information about the teacher we will be teaching for that day, or when we do go. Also the room number, or the parking arrangements. We ask about specific requirements that they might have when reporting, as we are mandated reporters, any protocols, specific protocols they may have when we are reporting, or the contact person for this. We also ask them for a schedule. Once we have the dates on the calendar, we ask them to send us a schedule of, you know, all the information and all the details of when we're going to be coming in.
That's right. So we, when we go into these meetings, we go with three things in mind. One, we are gonna build trust with the school. Two, we're gonna get all the questions answered so that when we go, when we show up to the school, that everything runs as smoothly as possible. Of course, things are gonna happen and little things may challenge us, but when we have all the questions answered, that eliminates a lot of the problems. So we're going to show up on time. We're going to, you know, have all of our information, room number, how many students, how much supply do we need, where do we park, who do we meet, who do we ask for. So that has to be covered. And then I never leave a meeting without solidifying dates. That secures the program. So we are in the meeting, and the last thing we do is talk about dates. The question is, when do you want the programs in your school? They give us dates, we put it in the calendar, we invite everybody that is involved, and that secures the dates. Rarely does it change. It has changed in the past, but at least, you know, we have something there that reminds them. We do contact them a little bit, 1 or 2 weeks before the date, our start date, to remind them that they need to pass out consent forms. Consent forms are extremely important for us. So we remind them that those are the ones that need to be given. And I mean, that works for us. It's worked so well.
That's right. And so if you can go to the next slide, please. With that, as Erica had mentioned earlier, before it was in-person press kits that were being handed out, now we email them, and in this email we include the dates that were confirmed, the curriculum overview, the lessons that we're going to be presenting, consent form links so that those can be sent out with plenty of time in advance, and the calendar invites for them to know when we're going to be in their schools. Since we are a nonprofit, well, as many of you might know, we also send in links for surveys so we can have those ready, and we're ready to start as soon as we walk into the room. We make sure to add all this information to the email so that the students have them in their student portal.
Uh-huh. And one of the things that we make known to the school, to the counselors, to the teachers, whoever is online in that meeting, is that consent forms are available in Spanish and English, and we invite them to go over them. So a lot of times, if they want to add things to the consent form, we allow them to do that. And if they want to take out any of the wording that's on the consent form, as long as it doesn't mess with the fidelity or the beliefs of the company or does not break any laws, we work with them to create the consent form that works for their students. And also the survey links, we want to be always transparent with it. So we allow them to go through the surveys, even provide the surveys to the parents if they want to see them, and that all the counselors have viewed and reviewed the surveys to ensure that when we're there on the first day, that there's no surprises, no one is unaware of the content that all the questions the surveys are going to ask.
And another thing of sometimes parents are sometimes the schools will ask us, can you do a parent night where you can just present a little bit about the curriculum, what we're going to be presenting, so that they're aware of the content of the presentations. And we have done parent nights where we talk about like a little presentation and overview of our curriculum, and that helps as well for the parents to understand and talk about what they're learning at school. All right, if you could go to the next slide, please. A very important part of our effectiveness is team planning. We have presented these lessons multiple times, but we always like to review them right before we're about to go into the classrooms, into the schools. We do a quick run of the lesson, the activities. That way we know we're prepared with all the activity materials, and we have everything at hand. We create different icebreakers to start out with the class, kind of to break that, maybe the politeness, or if the students are like a little introverted, we kind of break that so that they can feel more comfortable with us. Another thing that we like to do is once we get there early, so when the students start to come into the classroom, one by one, we start greeting them and we start talking to them about how they're doing, and just something unrelated, just getting to know them a little bit, just building that rapport with them. We like to make it a relatable environment. So we kind of dress casual, and we're just very relaxed and laid back in that sense. We want to break the structure of a classroom so that they feel that there's something different coming to them. It's not just another class. So we want to make it fun in that sense. If you can go to the next slide, please. For student retention, or maintaining their attention as well, we like I said, we built that. We set that tone first of welcoming, feeling comfortable. We let them know from the beginning who we are, why we're there, how long we will be coming to their classrooms, how long they'll be seeing us, and the purpose of why we're there. We also let them know that it's a safe place, that there might be things that come up, questions that they probably wouldn't normally talk about in a classroom, and we want them to feel comfortable and safe, and that whatever happens, as long as it's something that's keeping them safe in the room and it's set in the room, it stays there. We're there to support them and share our experiences as well. So we might share something that's personal, so we want them to feel comfortable as well in that sense. So we do create that safe space for them. We also say, those are basically the rules in the sense of respecting when others are speaking, letting them know that you're free to express yourself, and whatever happens here should not be discussed anywhere else. We ask for confidentiality, and just building that, once again, safe space. With participation, sometimes it can be challenging. Sometimes the kids are very quiet, or they don't want to answer questions or raise their hand. So when somebody does finally raise their hand or volunteer for something, we give them an incentive. the incentives that we provide are there's a purpose to them. They are helping you with your mental health, anxiety. So we give stress balls, we give out fidget spinners, things that are actually going to be productive and help them with their mental health as well. But they're fun, so they get excited. So that kind of motivates them to participate more because they're wondering, oh, what else do you have? What did you bring, right? The other thing that we also invite them to do, and we create like a healthy competition, because with Love Notes comes these journals where they're going to be able to write their own experiences, their questions, analyze their relationships, things like that. So when we hand those out, we let them know we're going to see maybe 2 or 3 classes in the school, and we're going to do a competition of the class that brings the journals back the most of the times will get a grand prize at the end of the lessons. And that really does motivate them, because when we are, especially because we're being consistent in each class, right at the beginning, okay, everybody hold your journal up, and then they kind of like get, oh my God, I forgot mine. So they're more aware of that. And we use these journals throughout the lessons as well. In certain lessons, we'll ask them to bring them out, and we'll do some of the activities. We'll allow time for them to do them in the classroom, which is very helpful. And then they see, wow, this is really cool. I'm like, hey, in your own time, you can go through the other pages that we didn't work on, and this is yours to keep, and it's your safe space and your guide. So they really do like that. And so the grand prize at the end, once we're done with the lessons, is a pizza party. So they get very excited about that. And that really, really motivates them to continue to participate.
Mm-hmm. And one of we know that attention grabbers are super important right at the beginning of the lessons. So one of the tactics that I personally use is go by a local story, something that's relevant, something that they might have heard on the news. So like, for example, right now, they're talking about a story, which is the Diamond story. It's a young girl that was 16 years old when she got killed by her ex-boyfriend with 22 gunshots on her back. And so just bringing something relevant like that into the classroom, something that they've heard of, something local, and that they know is true, gets them started talking about healthy relationships and how to build healthy relationships, how to identify negative ones. It gets them into wanting to know more. And that's something that's always successful, using real life scenarios, something that is relevant at the moment.
And one more thing towards the end of the lessons, also, we do remember to appreciate the teachers. The teachers are usually there throughout the lessons. Sometimes they participate, sometimes they get into the activities and participate and enjoy them very much. So we do appreciate them, and we do bring like a small gift from our organization to them as appreciation for their support within the program. And I think this really goes a long way, because then they start talking to other teachers about this, and then it's how it starts to also grow.
Mm-hmm.
But go ahead.
Oh, I just wanted to add one last thing about our incentives. Even we write motivational messages to each of our incentives. So like the stress balls says, don't stress. I can't remember, but our towels say don't sweat the small stuff. Our fidget spinners say just keep rolling, or something, messages that will help them remember what they've learned and motivate them to just be positive and keep going.
Yes, that's correct. And I don't, were you able to receive that video? We would like to share a little bit about our program that our system program, we can call it, I guess. We have a social media team that will go out and talk to the students once they're done with the curriculum. They go and work with the students and get their input as well. And so I want to share a little bit of what the students are saying about learning in the curriculum the tools that they're learning, the skills, and becoming more aware about healthy relationships.
Project Camp was very interesting. It informed me about a lot of stuff. I really enjoyed it, mostly because of the information it gave me.
I think that the project camp is very good for young teens, especially the ones who find it hard to talk to their parents about stuff like that. For example, relationships.
Project camp was really helpful, especially since in high school we talk about relationships and all that. STIs, STDs, HIV, and all that.
I would recommend a lot more students to have access to this so they could be aware of everything just in our body.
Project Camp can inform you about stuff you don't know about. So it could, someone that's not informed about something will learn about something that can benefit them.
It's a fun community. You get to really express yourself and they're really accepting, really want to hear what you want to say.
Project Camp really helped me experience those red flags and white flags and the things we learned. And Project Camp was really fun.
The instructors of Project Camp were very helpful, very kind. They seemed very relatable.
Project Camp definitely helped us build a stronger relationship. We actually talked through it. We all connected when we had Project Camp inside the class. We all started talking. We connected well. It was a pretty good experience. Project Camp was very fun.
Thank you. I'm sorry. So as you can see, thanks to the curriculum, like Love Notes, it really impacts the youth. It brings education and awareness, not only on how to detect unhealthy relationships, but also understanding that they are capable to create healthy relationships, regardless of where they come from or how they're raised. So it really brings up hope for them. And with that, I think we're going to go ahead and let Ralph go ahead and share his part of the presentation today. Thank you.
Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Ralph Nickerson, and I am blessed to be a part of the Be Busy team. If we can go to the next slide, please. And there are two of us. Like I said, my name's Ralph, and then I have Jeremy Tillis, who goes out in the classrooms with me, and we work with the students. Next slide, please. And a little bit about me, not to bore you about my boring life, but along with working with Project Cam, I'm also the marketing and social media director at Be Busy. And I spent most of my adult life, or pretty much all of my adult life, in TV news, video production, film production. And I'm also a former classroom teacher, college professor. And I've been blessed to win a few Emmys in my time and a couple of our Edward R. Murrow Awards, which are given for investigative reporting. So that's the experience I try to bring with me into the classroom, both as a filmmaker and journalist, and as a person that spent almost 15 years in the classroom as a teacher. Next slide, please. One of the first things I learned, because I didn't study education in college, but I learned on the job teaching at my first high school in Royal Palm Beach, Florida. A teacher told me the basic philosophy of teaching is tell me and I forget, teach me and I may remember, involve me and I will learn. And that's the basics, and that's the root behind Project CAM and how we approach what we do with the students is to involve them, get them hands-on, and keep their hands active and their minds active at the same time, and so that they'll be engaged. And I think if you don't engage them, they're not going to learn. They spend all day sitting in classrooms being lectured to. So to come out and lecture to them again, you're just going to lose them. And Erica and her team, they're so fantastic. We go into classrooms and we watch them play games and do activities with the students. And while the kids are having fun, they're actually learning something. And there's this old line from years ago on a TV show, Bill Cosby, Cosby Kids, where he says, and if you're not careful, you may mess around and may accidentally learn something. And so, that's our approach with teaching them video and film production, as well as when I'm in the classroom and I see Erica and her team playing like Jenga and other things like that. It's keeping the kids' hands and their minds occupied and giving them ownership of their own education. Next slide, please. And how teams communicate. And this is when we were writing up the idea for Project CAM. Surveys show that kids get most of their information, a majority of their information, from social media. And gone are the days where you're going to rush home at 14 years old and turn on the evening news and catch up on what's going on in the world. If you have a teen that's doing that, hug them and and keep them close, because they are rare. Most of the people, especially teens, 25 and people 25 and below, they will just log on to TikTok, Instagram. A few of us old people, we still use Facebook, and get their news, get their information, share information that way. So we try to engage our kids, our students with social media. And it also gives us an opportunity to talk to them about do's and don'ts and responsible uses of social media, not to do things, how not to get themselves in trouble 10 years down the road by what they post. So that's a kind of like a little extra, a little bonus. I'm from Louisiana, and the Creole word is called lagniappe, which means a little something extra. Next slide. I love testimonial videos. They serve a couple of purposes. One is whenever, like the video that Erica and Guadalupe just shared with you, if you're going into a school system, and this is where these videos are really important for your organization. If you're going into a school system and they're kind of iffy and they're like, I don't know if this is right for our kids, if their parents are a little squeamish because all they heard was sex education, and they're, and that's going to put up the big stop sign. You're not going to teach sex education in my school. And we're trying to let them know it's not sex education. Well, the best way to do it is to have other teens on video talking about the virtues of it, of the program, what they learned from it, and what they get from it. And so when we tell the parents or the principals or the counselors about the program, it almost sounds like a sales pitch. But when other students talk to them about it, they now go, okay, I get it. I understand what we're going to get out of it. This is, if you could play this is a little testimony from our video production.
The short film that we worked on was about teen pregnancy, and I think it could be used to raise a lot of awareness and help teens be more careful when they're doing specific kind of things, and maybe think about their actions next time they're gonna do something.
I think knowing the red flags of it is a good thing. At least you're aware for the next time if you're seeing or you're in the relationship and you see all those red flags, I should just leave.
Okay, so what's happening here is our students, we go into the classrooms and we give them instructions on the Love Notes program and curriculum. We're really lucky that we had our facilitators come in and talk to the students. Jeremy and myself, we just went through the training to if not necessarily conduct the classes on Love Notes, at least help facilitate it and give our kids a little bit of that curriculum. But we do lean heavily on the classroom facilitators, and it's a teamwork, it's a partnership. It's not two different organizations, two different branches. It's all one. And so our students get a chance to see us working together. So they're learning about red flags, they're learning about relationships, they're learning about all of the things that we have in the lesson plan and the curriculum that they need to learn. But at the same time, they're now taking that information and writing PSAs, writing short films, doing graphics, doing posters, doing podcasts to demonstrate what they learn. And the extra benefit of this is they're now using what they learn to reach out to other teens that may not be in our, we're not in their schools. We're not a part of their curriculum and their school program, but they're able to see what we're offering and get the lessons on abusive relationships or red flags to look for or how to make smart decisions. They're able to get that information, and not from an old guy like me, but from someone that looks like them, talks like them, dressed like them, and living the same experience as them. So, in TV, we call that a story that has legs. And so when you add this to your program, what you're doing is reaching far beyond your classroom, and you're letting the students take ownership of spreading that word. What happens now is they're more likely to pay attention. We tell them on day one, you're going to write PSAs or do interviews and podcasts on what you're learning. So now they really have to pay attention. It's not like you're going to take a test, but none of the students want to produce a bad video or do a bad podcast. So now they're paying attention because they want to learn so they can teach. Next slide, please. Yeah. And again, we're letting the students teach. We're letting the students have a voice, and that keeps them engaged. That keeps them interested, and also they go and spread the word. We're using their egos because every kid likes to be on camera and be seen and get praise. So we're using their egos to say, hey, look at my video. It's on YouTube. And that actually brings in more people because they go, hey, I want to do that too. So if you could play this video, please.
Gary, what's going on? I was trying to call you all day and you haven't answered. And now you're sitting here looking like you lost your best friend. Well, since I'm your best friend, I know that's not the case. So what's the problem? Everything? Everything. Please don't make me interrogate you just to get a simple answer. It's not that. I just need to think. Did something happen at home? It's your brother, right? He's such an idiot. It's not Carlos. It's just... Well, he's still an idiot. This time I'm the idiot. I'm late. Late? School hasn't started yet. I'm not that kind of late, Kenya. I'm late. Late? Oh, you mean your dad's gonna kill you late? Yeah. I just didn't want to keep on waiting, to have sex. I trust him and I didn't want to lose him. So have you told him yet? Yeah. Yes. Don't make me hurt you. What did he say? Working it out. Working it out? What does that even mean? He said that he needed some time, that we needed to take a break. And he said that he needed to think about his future. Is he serious? He's talking about his future? What is wrong with him? Bro, sit down. Just give it a couple of days, please. Then I can hurt him? Until then, I'm here to talk to you. I know. We should go to class before we're late. I can't keep up with these mood swings. You need professional help. Nah, I never been happier. My friend came today. What are you, 12? Just say you got your period. What? I never feel so happy to be crampy and bloated all my life. Wow, I did not need to know that. Feel free not to share. You said we could talk about anything? Well, I was wrong. Did you tell the love of your life? Nah, I figured out he's too busy working on his future. Plus, I figured out he's talking to Erica now. Wow, he's truly an idiot. I learned a lot this past week, and I saw all the red flags James was displaying. And I guess they were right. And I learned that I gotta focus more on myself. And that I got a future to deal with. So, yeah.
Okay, ladies, it's time to go to class. You don't want to be late.
Anything, just go.
Okay, you can stop it there. All right. At the end, you saw, no, that was not Denzel. That was, an upgrade. So I got a chance to do a little cameo. You guys are muted, but I'm assuming you're all laughing your butts off. In this video, we had, this was a short film that we produced. We've entered it into a local film competition, and we find out this month if we get to move on, if we get accepted, or how it's going to go. So we're waiting to hear back from that. But our students had a chance to act, and they were behind the camera. We teach them how to shoot, how to edit, how to write movies. We did a little acting, but they're not professional actors, so I thought they did a fantastic job. And we work on all of those little things. And then at the same time, again, they're learning about relationships and do's and don'ts and things to look out for and that sort of thing. So we get to reach the kids in a lot of different areas. And one student we talked to, he really liked video editing. We met him this year, this semester. He really loved video editing. And I asked him if he's going to do that professionally. And he said, "You mean people get paid to do this?" And I said, "Yeah." And his mom was always kind of harping on him to do something else, find a major. And he actually put her on the phone with me, and I got to explain to her, it's like, yeah, this is a, you can make a living like this. I've been doing it for over 30 years, and it is a career. And she was shocked that you could actually make a living doing this. I mean, a lot of people aren't exposed to this sort of thing, and they're not a wealthy family, and she ended up going out and buying him a laptop so he can do it. So we get to reach the kids on a lot of different levels and teaching them, an art form that I love, that's taken care of me and my family for a long time. And then at the same time, helping them avoid some pitfalls in their lives. So there's so many different avenues and ways that involving media into your existing program can help. Next slide, please. One of the other things we do, produce little short PSAs, and this is a really good thing if you already have you have your existing program that you can add on. It's a way to add things to your social media, but also give your kids a chance to help spread the message. And this is a little short PSA. This was all unscripted. We did a whole class on how to do improvisational acting. And so everything you're about to see now is all off the students' head. There was no script, and they were just given a prompt to do this, and they went. They went for it. And then at the end, we'll show just a little bit of explaining what's going on. If you could roll it, please.
The girl you were walking with.
What are you talking about?
I see you walking with a girl.
That ain't me. What are you talking about?
I took a picture of you. That's you with her.
That's not me. That's Photoshop.
How is it going to be Photoshop? I took it.
That's not me. Why would you think I would do that?
Because you've been treating me this way for a minute now, so why wouldn't you do that to me right now?
I have the right to treat you where I want to be treated. What are you talking about? I treat you anywhere I want to be treated because you're mine. You listen to me, what I say goes.
It doesn't work like that. We're done. This is so weird.
Where are you going to go?
I'm leaving.
So in this scenario, the boyfriend is exhibiting controlling behaviors. It seems that he's also trying to manipulate her when he's like, oh, well, that picture's not me. That could be Photoshop. But I think the biggest thing is that he says, what I say goes. So at that point, he doesn't seem to be respecting her at all.
Okay, and you can leave that slide up. You can go to the next one and leave that one up because that's my next thing anyways. So what you just saw there is another way you can really help your program. And that is you do a little short 30-second, 60-second impromptu acting, and then you can let your facilitators talk about what they learned. And now, not only are you working with the kids that are in your video program, you can show this in your classrooms around the city and your different classrooms, and so that they can now see it. They can now put themselves in those situations and go, you know what, I know someone like that, or I was in that kind of relationship. And then you have the facilitator come afterward and just give a little short thing on what they're seeing. Now, if you don't use this in your classroom, that's okay, because you can also add it to your website, your social media, and the teaching just keeps going and going and going and going, and you're helping more people. And at the end of the day, at the start of the day, that's our whole purpose, is to help as many kids as we can. So if you're not using social media, or if you're not using media in general right now, you're going in a classroom and you're doing these amazing things, and it's staying in the classroom. You're not reaching out to other people, and that's okay. And except now you know. So Maya Angelou said, once you know better, do better. So you please, 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 as a media nerd, use media to enhance your program, but also reach more kids. Here's a basic lesson plan for a 10-week program, and I can email this out or send it to Esther and let her send it out to everyone. But you can take this basic plan and augment it to fit what you need if you're adding this program. But I put this on here to show that you don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to start from scratch. We're all in this together to help as many kids as we can. So if you're in Iowa or New York or LA, you just call and say, hey, Ralph, can I have that lesson plan? And we're here for you because we're also here for students, not just our students, but teens wherever they exist and wherever they need help. And so this is just a basic plan that you can do, and you don't have to go, hey, yeah, but we don't have someone like you and Jeremy. Well, with a lesson plan, I tell everyone I can teach pretty much anything if I have a lesson plan and I have a syllabus. So especially this, you can do this, and again, with a lesson plan, you can make this work. Next page, please. One of the best things that you can add, and please stop me if I'm going too long. Erica will tell you I'm long-winded when it comes to this because I love this stuff.
So, well, just a minute, Ralph, that's a good point. So you have like 2 minutes.
Okay, great. All right.
3 minutes.
Okay. Podcast. Since COVID, they have gone from laughing stocks to this is how now people share information. You can do a podcast if you're going, okay, it's all about budget. Well, if you have a cell phone, then the mic that you see on the screen, that costs $24. I have one. You can use those little $24 mics in your iPhone or your Android, and boom, now you're ready to do a podcast. We won't show the podcast that's in the corner, but now you're ready to do it. As far as shooting video, if you have a phone, we do a whole class, and I have a whole lesson plan for you, if you like, on using your existing cell phones instead of going out and buying $2,000, $3,000 cameras. And there's free editing software that you can download from the App Store that allow the students to shoot video, edit video, and post it right from their phone. So everything that you see us doing, you don't have to go, okay, we run by grants and we have a tight budget. Well, if you already have a phone and every student has a phone, then you can implement this program by using the existing items that you have. And that is just a simple cell phone and $20, $30 microphones. And I'll wrap it up there and say, if you have any questions, we are Be Busy, and please, please, please follow us across our social media, and so you can keep up with what we're doing. And if you have any questions, just contact us. Thank you.
Great, thank you so much. I do have a couple questions here. The first one was, what does your consent process look like to film the student testimonials?
When they first come into the program, they all sign a photo and voice usage agreement. And not the kids, because it goes to their parents. And so a part of being on the program is that you have to sign this, and it outlines what it is that we're going to do, and that this videos will be on social media.
Great, maybe you can send us that and we can post it with your webinar. That'd be super good. So okay. I have a question for all the presenters, or maybe one of you can take the lead here. So Love Notes is a 12-hour program, and then you're doing this amazing media part. So what classes is this taught in? Is the media required to participate in the Love Notes class? And what's the overall time commitment, both in school and out of school time?
Mm-hmm. So we teach the 13 lessons. The teachers do agree to 13 hours. That is for the Love Notes curriculum. We have gone into health classes, PE classes, science classes, AVID, It is the relationship that BBC has built with the different districts. They usually, the school talks amongst themselves, and they usually give us, they talk to different teachers, and whatever teacher is willing to host the program, that's where we are. Not everybody that takes the youth development adaptation, which is the social media piece, has to go through the program. It is a small amount of students that participate in the program. And I'll let Ralph talk a little bit about the career center that we're working with.
Okay, you have a minute, Ralph.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, we're partnering with the school and ISD, and so we're working with the kids that are already in the existing video production program. And we don't have the whole class, just the ones that signed the agreement. But before we were at a Yes Prep school, and they didn't have an existing program. So then we met after school, same thing, with kids that came in that never had a chance to learn video production, and they were more than willing and ready to learn.
Great. Well, it sounds really quite remarkable, the good work you're doing there. So thank you for sharing. If we have more questions, we know that we can reach out directly to you, or you can reach out to Dibble, and we will be in touch. We'll post these slides in a couple of days. You'll get an email, then you can download it all, get the QR code. Okay, next slide, s'il vous plaît. Thanks for joining us today. This is the most important thing. So next month, we have a very special webinar by Dr. Bryant Marks, who's a professor at Morehouse College. And it's not a webinar, it's a training. It's 3 hours on the hidden biases of good people. It is amazing presentation and interactive time together. And it's great. What can I say? It is $45. We don't normally charge for our programs, but he charges us, we charge you. And we have hundreds of people who join us. So please look at that. You can join as a group if you want to do it in a staff time, but everybody needs to have their own phone or tablet because there are interactive portions of it. But we will also send you a link to that as well. So hope to see you in December. And until then, we're going to end a couple minutes early, so take some time off, well-deserved time off, everybody. We're going to leave in 3 minutes early. Thank you so much for your time and attention today, and we'll see you in December at the Hidden Biases of Good People webinar. Thank you so much.
Thank you.